So next section, solving inequalities using multiplication or division. Again, if you understood it, with chapter 1, like, this is going to be so simple. If you understood the last section, it's going to be so simple. Page 38 in your student journals. We're just going to skip all this jazz and we're just going to get to it. The important thing to notice here, as it applies to inequalities, is that this number that we are multiplying or dividing by has to be positive, right? Okay? It has to be positive to produce the equivalent inequality. So if I multiply one side by 2, I gotta multiply the other side by 2, but the 2 has to be positive. Or if I divide by a number, the number has to be positive. It applies to greater than, less. It applies to all inequalities. When it's negative, though, look at this right here. Look at this. What happened? It went from less than to a greater than. Well, because a negative is essentially flipping. When you are working with an equal sign, it doesn't matter because it's equal. It's the same thing. But when it's an inequality sign, that automatically creates a relationship of greater than or lesser than. And when you introduce a negative number, that flips essentially everything. That flips the poles. So you go from positive to negative or negative to positive. But when you do that, well, the result is this. You have an inequality that also has to flip. So when you multiply or divide by a positive number, the inequality stays static. It stays the same. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you have to switch signs. And that's it. It's the only thing that might be tricky. So, and again, the reminder is the number that you are dividing or multiplying by has to be negative. So in number 1, we look at this. What am I going to divide by? And what am I multiplying by? X is being multiplied by 6. All right, so I'm going to divide by 6. So I'm going to take negative 30 divided by 6. And the key thing here is the number that you are dividing by negative? Is that 6 negative? No? Then it stays. It stays the same. If X is less than negative 5. So I'm just going to put this negative 5 in the middle. Because I already did it in last section. If you need a more in-depth, then go ahead and look at the last section. But numbers to the right are greater. And I'm actually just going to do one number to save some time here. So we got negative 5. We got no equal sign. So what does that mean? The circle is going to be empty, not filled. And less than means to the left. Or you also think about it, you just pick a number. Negative 6 is less than negative 5. That works. Negative 4 is not less than negative 5, so I cannot go in that direction. Again, you only flip the inequality sign when the number you are multiplying or dividing by is negative. In this case, it is not negative. 6 is a positive number. Divide both sides by 16. That's positive, so again, you don't have to worry about changing anything. Divided by 16, divided by 16. 3 is equal to or less than f. That's another way of saying f is greater than or equal to 3. So just think, what numbers are bigger than 3? 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6. To the left is 2 and such. 2, 1, 0. So because I have an equal sign, I'm going to go ahead and fill this. And then, I'll just go off to the right. Okay. I know I am moving a little fast, but it's at your leisure. If you want to take the video at 3/4 speed, take it at 3/4 speed, 0.75, or just pause or replay as you see fit. Okay, so I gotta multiply. Oh, this is annoying. Multiply by the reciprocal. It's not annoying to me personally. It's just annoying because I know some of you guys are not that good at fractions, but it is what it is. It's not what we cover in Math 1. You should have learned it by now, but if not, hey, you'll just learn it by practicing. 7 times negative 6 is negative 42. 3 times 7 is 21. The way you multiply is just multiply across. You could also say 7 divided by 7 is 1. Whatever. There's a bunch of ways to solve this. Negative 42 divided by positive 21 is going to be negative 2. It's less than or equal to f. Again, because the number I multiplied by was not negative, I am not worried about flipping this thing. I am flipping it though because I am switching the positions of everything on the left and the right. So I have 2f is greater than 2. Greater than means 3, 4, 5. So again, if it's an equal sign, then that means the circle is filled. Oh, gosh darn it. Well, you know what? Let's see. We'll pretend the 2 is there. I think it was. Oh, no, it was a negative 2, right? Oops. So negative 2, negative 1, 0. Good, that's a good opportunity then for me to fix that. So negative 2 is less than or equal to f. So f is greater than or equal to negative 2. And this goes that way. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Either way you write this, the number line looks the same. And the reason I flipped the inequality sign is because I flipped everything on the left and right, not because I divided or multiplied by negative. Okay, moving on to number 4. Number 4, negative 4m divided by, negative 4m is greater than or equal to negative 16. So in this case, I will have to divide by negative 4. And the number I am dividing by is negative. So in this case, I will go ahead and swap that inequality sign to a lesser than. Negative divided by negative is a positive. So I got 4, 5. Is 5 less than 4? No, 3 is less than 4. So I gotta go that way. What kind of circle will this be? And we're off to the left because less than 4, or less than or equal to 4. Here, dividing by negative 6. Okay, well, to cancel that out, inverse operation, multiply. Multiply. Again, because I'm multiplying by a negative number. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, this has to change. So it becomes x is less than negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Less than negative 2. So what is less than negative 2? Negative 3, negative 4. Those are more negative than they are less. Negative 1 and 0, they are less negative, so they are greater than negative 2. No equal signs, so it's going to be empty, not filled. Less than negative 2 is that away. Bada bing, bada boom. Alrighty. Is that the last? Oh no, it's not. It's not. So again, we're multiplying by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of negative 1/4 is negative 4 over 1. Negative 4 over 1, which is really just negative 4. Negative 4 over 1. Negative 4 times 1 divided by 1 is negative 4. Because we're multiplying by negative, you gotta swap the inequality sign. Negative 4 is greater than or equal to y, or y is equal to or less than negative 4. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 3, negative 2. Got this right here. Negative 4, sorry, y is equal to, so that means the circle is going to be filled. Oh, dang it. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Filled. Yeah, filled. Less than is to the left. I'll just clear that over here. Okay. You'll notice that I get into the habit of putting the variable on the left side. That's just habit because it's one, when you get a standardized test, generally a variable will be to the left, so it's good for you to like put your answer in that like standard format. If you understand it though, like it's really not that big a deal, but it's just good habits. You're building good habits. Number 2, we're going to divide both sides by negative 4. In this case, because again, this is like your fraction work. If you're good at it, then you're good at it. If you're not, it's okay. But I will be doing stuff. I can multiply by the reciprocal, which is multiplying by negative 1 over 4, which is the same thing as dividing by 4. Multiply by the reciprocal, negative 1 over 4. So over here I have a negative times a negative is a positive. And don't forget, since I'm multiplying by a negative, what happens to the inequality sign? We should just do that real early on. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. 2 divided by 12, so that's 1/6. 1/6. And then we have less than, or sorry, we already swapped the sign. This is x. X is greater than 1/6. So, you know, I could make fractions. I could say 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, 4, 6, 0 over 6, negative 1 over 6. Or I could just say 1, 2, 0, negative 1. It's not exactly even, but honestly, like, for the purposes of your understanding, it's honestly not that big a deal. So we don't have an equal sign, so the circle is going to be empty. And x is greater than. So which one is greater than? 1 or 0? 1 is bigger than 1/6, so we will go that way. Okay. Moving on. We will multiply by the reciprocal, which is, again, you just take it and you flip it. So negative 5 over 4. Because I'm multiplying by a negative, then what happens to the sign? You gotta swap it. Oops, 4. 4. So x is equal to, less than or equal to, negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10, 10 over 4. 10 over 4 is really 2.5, so I could say 2.5. If you want to write 10 over 4, hey, be my guest, you know, it doesn't bother me. 2.5, 3, 2, 1, 0. For x is less than or equal to 2.5, less than or equal to, because it has equal to, it's got to be filled, less than is 2 left. Whew. All right, those are all the problems. Number 9, there are 30 at most. At most means it has, whatever else has to be less than or equal to that. So there are at most 36. The number of red marbles is twice the number of blue marbles. So I got to take so whatever the number of red marbles is, that's 2 times the number of blue marbles. The greatest number of red marbles in the back. So R, and if this is twice the number of blue marbles, then this is the number of reds. So reds is R. If the reds is double the blues, another way of saying that is saying that the blues are half the number of the reds. So I'll say 0.5 R. Let's see. Write and solve an inequality that represents the greatest. So we got 1 point. So this is a 1, because if there's nothing there, you just have 1. 1.5 R equal to or less than 36. You'll use your handy-dandy calculator, because I honestly don't know how to divide by 1.5. I just got to use a calculator for that. 36 divided by 1.5. 1.5. Yeah, R is equal to or less than 24. So at most there can be 24 red marbles. Okay, that's the end of section, what are we on, 2.3? Yeah, 2.3. The only real takeaway that is different from chapter 1 is that, again, you do have to, if you do it on one side, you got to do it to the other side. But in this case, since we are dealing with inequalities and not equations, then when you multiply or divide by a negative, that is to say, when the number you are using to multiply or divide is negative, you must also swap the inequality sign.